Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea Necchiarico, and today, in today's video, I would like to talk about some interesting facts about old Earth, meaning the planet we're currently on. I call it old Earth because we're almost done with this planet and there's already another planet waiting for many of us. All right, so before I jump in here, I would like to ask you to please like, share, and comment on this video, and also please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so that you can catch all the updates, since I have a lot more information from the 25th coming through that I want to share with you. And in case you don't know the background to this story, this is information that I'm getting from the 25th dimension. I received this particular set of information in the last hypnosis session, which I did a couple of weeks ago. This was a QHHT hypnosis session in the style of Dolores Cannon. It was created by Dolores Cannon, if any of you are familiar with her. And what I received was a new cosmology that I wasn't aware of, and that I find that is very different from what we hear out there from a lot of different people who connect to different levels of reality and dimensions. And while a lot of it is interesting, it really does make a difference, the perspective, the vantage point you're getting this information from, because it describes different pieces of the matrix. But I found the 25th is very good about giving us all the pieces, how all the pieces work together, so you don't just get one perspective or the other. And so we get a more complete view of what to expect. All right, so let's jump in. I'm going to be reading question and answer. The question comes from the hypnotist, the practitioner, Carolyn, and the answer comes from me, but it's really through me from the 25th dimension. Very well. Carolyn, are there first and second dimensions? We always speak of third and above, but is there anything below us? Me, they are not below us, but yes, there are. They are here. They are on 3D planets, and they are the realm of elementals and creatures that we have relegated, we have imagined, and we have not given them space in our 3D reality because they were too close to magic for us to not start putting the dots together. But yes, they're here with us. And for those who are ready to see them, you can. Carolyn, and can you explain to us what those creatures are? Are we speaking of fairies and gnomes and those kinds of things? Me, sure. There are people who want them. There are people who see them. There are people who find enjoyment. Carolyn, and that is true. That is so true. Is the weather here manipulated on Earth by the dark side? Me, by both sides. Both sides manipulate the weather. Carolyn, oh, and they do. Is our planet flat or round? Me, if you're asking from a 3D perspective, it is round. Carolyn, but from a game board perspective, it's flat, yes? Me, it's not an actual planet, it's a construct. Carolyn, is it what we would consider a matrix? Is it what we consider something that is computer generated? Is how some of us would maybe look at it. Me, you could look at it that way. The greatest technology is inside of us. I know you guys are so enamored with technology. We have all the power at our fingertips. Our thought is faster than anything you can possibly imagine. Our feelings are powerful, are all powerful. All we have to do is focus and we create. We've created this entire dimension for this planet. We created a space for it. Carolyn, and we continue to create it as we're on it. Me, we do. However, we're making less rules than in the past. Some people are making more rules. The light workers, the 12,000, are creating rules as they go because they have a job to do that they have to finish. And the rules that they've been told about to this point are not up to par anymore. They're not going to help them move forward. Carolyn, so we have to be creative along the way. Me, we have to be creative, but as far as the rest of the population goes, there are actually less and less rules that are being applied these days because everything is converging towards a 0 point. Carolyn, yes, we see that. We see that every day. Is there anything going on from the human perspective in Antarctica, alien-wise, extraterrestrial? Me. So they're showing me zebras. Why are they showing me zebras? Okay, Carolyn, surely they aren't experimenting on zebras in Antarctica. Me. You never know. They've been experimenting on all kinds of things. Yeah, so we do have aliens that come and go from here. So of course they've been to Antarctica as well. Antarctica is more of a dimension. The way that we hear talk about it, it's almost like the people that go there, they're going to a different dimension. It's a portal. So they can be in different places at once. That's one of the entry points for people who cannot just use their thoughts, like reptilians, for example, or other dark, denser types of energies. It is easier to physically go through energy loopholes, if you wish, especially if they're taking their technology. There are ships with them. So yes, Antarctica is a place with high energy vortexes, and this allows extraterrestrials to travel. It's easier to travel through certain places on this planet. Carolyn, is that the same thing that's happening on Mount Shasta then, here in the United States? Me, it's a vortex. Carolyn, it's a vortex. And is that for travel as well? Me, it can be used. You have to know how to use it. Carolyn, understood. So there are some figures on this planet that represent many things for many different people. Is the dark plan, how's that going with enslaving humanity right now? Me, laughing. They're trying, it's not going very well. Will it become known to everyone that the elections are all rigged? Me, yes, it will. Carolyn, what will that do to our world, our country? Me, you will move forward. The only education that is left to be experienced on this planet at this time is the education for those people who are going to move forward and use this in other dimensions. There are those of us who already see beyond all this 3D back and forth. We don't need this. We already know that it doesn't matter what everybody knows in the 3D, because the truth is, everybody has access to the same information. It's just a matter of, do they want to acknowledge it or not? So this is what's going to happen. There's a lot that's going to happen so that people, for the benefit of those who are going to go on and teach the history of this planet, as a warning for what could happen. Not only a warning to other 3D planets, but also a warning to higher dimensions, not to let a game run this long once it's been unbalanced. Now, when we talk about these people who are needing to see, this is my own personal comment that I want to add just to make this clear. When we talk about these people who need to see the end of the game, the ones that are calling for disclosure and for the truth to come out and basically all this knowledge to be acknowledged by the masses, it seems like we're talking a huge group of people. And I think this is because these are the people that that we see, that a lot of channels or a lot of people speaking to, and a lot of people trying to spread information towards, because we have two groups here. Either we have the group of what some people refer to as the sleepers, who get their news from commercial media, so mainstream media, or we have where it's all about fear, 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 or we get news that are targeted to the, what I call the 4D people, who are the people who are awake, but might not be ultra spiritual. I laugh every time I think of the word ultra spiritual, because there was a joke by JP Sears. He's a comedian. He's very funny. You should check him out if you don't know him. That talks about ultra spirituality, and of course he's very sarcastic, so he takes it to the extreme. But meaning that what I mean by ultra spiritual is simply that yes, you are open, but you haven't necessarily done the work to figure out who you are, the fact that we are energy beings and all that. So to go back to what I was saying, the people in 4D are also getting a lot of fear, fear, fear. and sometimes a little hopium from channels out there, because they also want to believe that this is real. So it's the same as 3D. The difference is that they want to see a different truth. So what the 25th is saying here is that the reason we're still playing this game, and we're going to play it for several more months, but not that long, much longer after that, is because they are the only ones who have to learn something new, which is the end of the story, and they have to see it in the 3D. So they can go to other 3D planets and explain it, but also so that they can tell higher dimensional planets what the dangers are. This is going to be a warning, basically, to other planets not to do what we've done. Okay, next question. In this particular question, I do want to premise this question, because otherwise you might not understand what I'm trying to get to here. Because again, I wrote these questions that the practitioner is asking me while I'm under hypnosis. I have seen some people who are supposedly spiritual, and this is not to take away from them. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, I don't know. But there's been something that has made an impression on me that these people are speaking about. There's a project going on, I forgot where it is, I think it's called, I made a note of it, Ganymede. I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway, it's a different planet. And supposedly there's a lot of technology. Again, technology is the key word, because we seem to believe technology is going to save us. More advanced technology is going to save us when our less advanced technology has almost destroyed us. So you can notice that there is a very sequential logic there. This is not a jump in consciousness, in my opinion. But anyway, so they're telling us that there are some elites on this planet working with aliens on this particular planet, Ganymede, to create certain technologies that somehow will free humanity. So in other words, other people are going to save us. Okay, this is always the same concept, that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to improve ourselves. We don't have to realize who we are. Somebody's going to come in and save us. And they're talking about these important people, VIPs, that are they're working on these technologies. Okay, so I will read this and I will tell you why what we got from the 25th, but also why I have a problem with this and why I even thought of asking this question. So the question here is, Carolyn, are people like Bezos, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson involved in this project on Ganymede? Me. No, they are not involved. We are being told so because there are people that like to scare others, and they seem to be working on the side of the light, but they are not. They're infiltrated. Sometimes they're not aware, but they are spreading this information. They're trying to get to the light workers. They're trying to get to us. We're not supposed to be distracted. We're not supposed to be concerned and dragged down by this low vibrational energy. This is not for us. This is for other people who have other duties. We are not supposed to be concerned with this. And I want to explain why I asked this question. Because it seems very odd and very unjust, and just doesn't make any sense to me that some of the same people who we've been calling dark and that have done a lot of bad stuff in this world, they're definitely not spreading light, at minimum. All of a sudden they're switching sides and we're like, oh, this is great, I'm sure they're going to do great. It makes no sense to me, because you can't just switch. We can switch sides at any time. So this is a given. As souls, we can truly just change our minds and change our purpose and do something different. However, it's not as easy as that in real life to go from dark to light or from light to dark. You have to go through a transition. The fact that they're making it look like these people who have been so successful by riding the coattails of the dark, all of a sudden they just switch sides. They get to hold on to their power, their wealth. They still get to tell us what to do. They're the ones who get the opportunities to create the new world, whatever that is, in their opinion. It was getting to me. I was like, this is not right. This doesn't feel new. This feels like the same old clique is going to get benefits again, and we're just, left to deal with whatever they think is best for us. I'm not okay with this. I am tired of our sovereignty being taken away. And so I was thinking about this, and I'm glad that I asked this question on the 25th and that I got this answer, because it totally makes sense that they're trying to get to people like me and possibly like you, the light workers, because they're making us feel like we're powerless. And it doesn't matter what we're doing, all of a sudden this awakening is being co-opted and is being turned into something that is a bad copy of what an awakening should be, a rising consciousness, because basically we're just getting more advanced technology and we should be so excited. Whereas the whole point is that we are more powerful than any technology out there, even at higher levels. We are tired of compromising and negotiating away our sovereignty so we can get technology. Technically, this is what got us into this problem, is that many decades ago, there were a group of aliens, at least so the story goes, I have no idea, that came to Earth and negotiated to take over, basically, and in exchange for some technology that some of the elites were thrown. It was thrown at them, some old technology that these aliens didn't even care for, and they took it because it was a big deal for humans, and so they could use it to strengthen their power against us. All of this is old news. I personally don't want to repeat any of this again, so that's why I'm not liked. I used to follow some of these people. This is how I know that they're spreading this information. And now, it seemed very weird to me that they would be telling us these things, and it didn't seem spiritual at all. So I'm glad I asked this question, because at least for me, this resonates. I am not going to go along with this anymore. I'm not going to believe in it, and it's just not. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it definitely doesn't smell like awakening. It just smells like more of the same. All right, so let's move forward. Carolyn. Oh, we're not supposed to be concerned with this, with the fact that these people are doing all these things, and that it's meant to basically depress, basically sadden the 12,000 to make us feel powerless. So the question, we're not supposed to be concerned with this? Me. These things are not for us. They're put out to confuse people. They are put out to make the light workers believe that nothing is going to change. That's the only way they can hold us back. They're trying to delay the timeline, but you cannot delay it. Carolyn. So will these people be involved in the new future on New Earth? Me. They're not going to New Earth. They're done already. Carolyn. They're done already? Are they really no longer here? Me. Some of them have gone back, and they mean to the 25th dimension. Some of them, they're here, but it's not them anymore. They're not really here anymore. And I don't know what they mean by this, if they're referring to them having become non-player characters, meaning the soul is left. I'm not quite sure what it means here, but clearly we're seeing things, or we're being told things that are not real. Carolyn, thank you for that. Me, they're being used. Carolyn, they're being used? Me, they're being used by the dark. So the point is that they're being used by the dark to confuse and discourage people that nothing is changing. All right, so I wanted to know how many people are going to New Earth and how many people are actually here on this planet. So Carolyn asked on my behalf, 2 billion will eventually be on New Earth. Oh, okay. I apologize. This is a little bit confusing, because when I finished saying they're being used by the dark, I basically asked, I basically said, I blurted out, I said, there are 2 billion people on Earth. And so Carolyn is trying to clarify what I said. She said 2 billion people will eventually be on New Earth. And I said, 2 billion humans are on this planet right now. Carolyn, there are only 2 billion humans on this planet right now? So we have gone through a transition that has not been noticeable? Me. There were never the 9 billion we were told. Carolyn, never. And so are all avatars, or is it just information we recognize to be as true? Me. It was just made up? Carolyn, made up for what purpose? Me. To make us feel insignificant. Carolyn, that we're just a number? Me. That's right. So this is a bit overwhelming to see the extent that the dark has gone to make us feel like we're completely worthless. But it makes me feel so hopeful and so good to know that despite all their trials and tribulations, we have won and we're moving on. We're taking this thing down. So hang in there, not much longer to do. I will give a more clear timeline in the next few videos. I will also explain some of the stuff they're referring to in here, which is the fact that there are going to be different groups of people going to different places. And it's one of these groups that needs to see the picture of the light in 3D in order to spread the news. Not all of us are going to do this job. Everybody has picked basically what they want to do. Everybody's going to be happy getting exactly what they desire, including the people that want to continue pretending that they're in 3D. And it goes very deep into the description of what's going to happen. So I'm going to do a separate videos on this so that it's not too much information all at once. So I look forward to seeing you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching and take care. Bye-bye.